I'm taking you on a walk, on a really sacred walk. Oh, let me see if you can see where I'm going. Down a sacred path. I'm just hoping there's going to be reception where I actually want to take you to. I don't think that there'll be full reception the entire way, but I'm going to walk this way anyway. Hey Rachel. So I was going to do this as an audio. Hey Leanne. I was going to do this as an audio and then I fully knocked my tattoo just before and it's sore now. Hey. Yeah, I was going to do this topic as an audio. Oh, by the way, my name is Hannah, Life Purpose Queen. Please let me know if this is your first live stream that you've caught me on before. And I'm just really trusting that I'll have reception the full way of where I'm going and taking you, because I really want to show you something today for some reason. Taking you on a sacred walk, which by the way, you've probably seen if you saw me post. I grounded and downloaded the Triple Goddess meditation this morning. I was half writing it yesterday, right? And then, which way should we go? First one, hi Katrina. Lovely to have you here. Let me know where you're from. I'm like, which pathway am I going to walk down? I'm going down this way. Let me show you where we're going. It's like just full bush. Full bush. Taking you full bush today. So yeah, I fully downloaded the, well, I was through doing it yesterday and it's so weird, right? I like woke up this morning and I'm like, I regretted doing that live stream yesterday. I'm like, why do I feel like this? And even yesterday I got off live stream, I'm like, why did I just do that live stream? Because anyone else, yes, from the Sunny Coast too. Yes, do you recognize where I am? Is that why you're saying from the Sunny Coast? Yeah, and I felt really weird, like, I don't know, it's so weird because I'm like, what is this energy? And it's just like intensely crazy and weird and I'm like, what is going on? And I knew I was in the middle of writing the Triple Goddess meditation and downloading it, and it's interesting because it's like, you know, if you think about the Triple Goddess, right, it's the maiden, the mother and the crone. And when I do it as well, there's actually four. There's the sacred four. Hey Aaron, say hi guys when you join here. Topic of your life. You're in so sick. Yeah, I'm getting a little bit sidetracked. Oh, I'll just show you where I am. You Sunny Coast people should know where I am. Should know where I am. This is where I am. This beautiful space here. Walking through the reserve. But yeah, where I'm still going somewhere, so please excuse my walking and talking this morning. But if you got any questions too, please type them away in the comments. Questions about anything at all. Doesn't have to be about the topic or about what I'm talking about, but please ask me a question, any question as well. So, yeah, your energies are all fucked up right now. Yeah, it's intense, right? And I guess I just wanted to finish sharing that, like, doing the Triple Goddess meditation was really, I'm really nervous. I have a feeling the reception's going to drop out and I'd rather talk to you guys than have reception drop out. So I'm going to see if I can just sit down here somewhere. Yes, let's go down here. I just would rather make sure the reception doesn't drop out. I just know it has a bit of a weird patch. Okay, cool. Alright, so this is where I walked to here. Okay, alright, so yeah, so I just wanted to say, like, the Triple Goddess, it's like this, the energies were so strong, and it's like there's like a zillion, like, you know, fractals and, you know, aspects of the Triple Goddess, right? There's the maiden, the mother, crone, but then if you think about the goddess, or if you think about any aspect of our psyche, there's a zillion different parts, right? Yeah, us too. Okay, cool. So it's like this space of, you know, like, there's so many planets retrograde. We've just been through a huge pile of eclipses. But the other thing as well, the really important thing I want to say is that, like, and I was sharing yesterday, that there's like this space right now, right? And this space is where we're integrating. This space is where we're creating and kind of coming back. You know, like integration is like coming back in, right? So if you want early access to the Triple Goddess meditation, please send me a private message, because it is actually recorded. I just haven't got the links and everything set up yet for it. So if you want that meditation, please send me a private message. It will be available for release in the next 24 hours though. However, if you're feeling really scattered, obviously, you know, and stressed, and there's so much shit going on, right? As I always say, the first thing you do is you check your energy. When was the last time you cleared your energy, right? And this is where I'm always talking about, you know, that's why I'm doing 31 days of clearing energy today, or, you know, over August. Every day I'm releasing something that's really easy to clear your energy. Now, that's just like the number one step, right? Hey, Tabitha. So yes, it's horrible. And I guess I just wanted to point out too, like, you know, it's... You know, a while ago, and I was saying, and I was like, this is just the new normal now. This is just how it is, right? And I really want to kind of reiterate that, because it's like, it hasn't really stopped, has it? If you guys think about it, the past maybe, I don't know, few months, has it really stopped? Is it going to stop? So what do we do about it? We learn how to adjust to being in the center of it, and the Triple Goddess meditation actually really brings us into this place, right? It's like, you know, the maiden is opening and we're opening up. So if you actually think about what I'm about to say here, this is the message coming through. This is what the energies we've just shifted into. The maiden and the awakening of the consciousness, and it's about opening and receiving and letting that consciousness in and finding out who you are and becoming aware of yourself. The mother is like holding everything and realizing how much of that we create, right? The mother is what we create, and we're holding and birthing that. And then the crone, when you think about the crone energy, it's the divine wisdom, it's the divine, you know, sense of self. It's all of it, all in one, right? It's absolutely everything, all connected all at once. And it's so weird, right? Because this is so normal for me. Can you guys let me know if this is normal for you guys as well? Hey Shelley, oh thanks. Can you let me know if this is normal for you, or if it's just me? Because I feel like this is a big part of my normal tribe, is that we sense like all realities at the same time, right? It's like it's not like there's a it's not like, oh, I need to do a meditation so I can go here. It's just like, we're already there. And for me, it's like all realities exist at the same time, right? All time, all dimensions, all realities, they all exist at the same time. And I really got this sense, like, you know, it's the crone wisdom, right? It's the definite crone, where we're like, it's my bird's feather, like crone style. It's like coming up. Look at this. I just chucked my hair up. And it's like everything is all at once, and then it's like the energy of the Triple Goddess coming together is, how do we ground that in? How do we ground it in so we're not overwhelmed? Because these energies, I'm really getting the intuitive message, these energies are not going to let up. Like, this is the new normal now. You know how they talk about, like, you know, stepping into 5D consciousness and stepping into all of this. It's like, these are the energies of now that is like, you know, everything is speeded up. Everything is, you know, creating and moving forward and faster. And like, this is just the new normal. Like, it's not going to let up. So it's like, how do we adjust to this? It's like this fast pace. So number one, how do we do this? How do we do this? Okay. Number one, clear your energy. Always. Several times a day. Constantly. All the time. So I'm always going on about it. And I'm always going on about it because it's so damn important. Right? It's like, is the number one step. Clear your energy. Check how much water you've done. Are you writing these down? These are really important points, right? Check your energy, clear your energy. My internal compass chakra clearing meditation is free on my website, realityawareness.com. If you go to the essentials meditation pack, it's in there. It's free. Okay. So, number one, clear your energy. That meditation, by the way, is 7 to 8 minutes long. You can do it while you're doing the dishes. You know, you can listen to it while you're doing dishes or anything. You can multitask doing it. And, you know, even though it seems like you're not doing it, your subconscious is deeply taking it in, okay? Do it several times a day. So number one, clear your energy. Number two, how much water have you been drinking in the past 24 hours, past 3 days, past week? Number two, how much sleep have you had in the past 24 hours, in the past week, in the past month, yeah? First 3 things to check before before anything else. I don't care what's going on in your life. They're the first three things you check, okay? If they are low or not tended to, you must tend to them and focus on them for the next week before you focus on anything else. Now, saying this so strongly, did you guys get this? Can you please write this down? Okay, I can't stress it enough, right? And it's kind of like, because it's like these increased energies, right? These increased energies that are like, it's like everything's happening at once and everyone's full of anxiety and everyone's getting drained and wiped with energy and all this shit. It's like, okay, when did you last clear your energy? Forget clearing other people's energy. When did you last clear your energy? How much water have you drunk? How much sleep have you had? Fix them for an entire week. Only focus on them before you go and delve into anything else, okay? 3 days minimum, 7 days minimum, right? Then the next is 7 days. Yeah, Erin, so if you just go to realityawareness.com and if you just scroll down the page a bit, there's the Essentials Meditation Pack. You can download that. It's there's about 6 free meditations in there, I think, and the Internal Compass is in there. So if you, yeah, it's in there. Let me know if that helps. So Tabitha says, being sensitive souls, it never be so all over. We need to change our perspective and call experience we call shit. Yeah, and this is the thing, whereas when you said it's horrible, Erin, and I was like, actually no, this is just something that we need to adjust to. It's not horrible, it's just energy. When we label it as horrible, it becomes 10 times worse, right? Is that too windy for you guys? I can feel the wind on me. So Shelley says, I have a lot of empathy for people and I feel drained with their issues. Yeah, so I ask you, Shelley, how often do you clear your energy? How much water have you drunk? And how much sleep have you had? First steps, yeah? I feel like it's been so long since I have been able to focus on you and your teaching. So glad to see you're here. Adam says, makes sense. Yes, 100% sense. It's so bad. I have a lot of trouble getting rid of negative energy and have a ton of my own personal issues. Yeah, and this is the thing where it's like the most help we can give somebody is focusing on our own self and sorting out our own self. I'm just walking down here because the fishermen down there were looking at me. They're like, who's that person talking? Spoiling our peace while we're fishing. So I'm just walking down. Let me see what else is going here. Yeah, so let me know if that helps. Erin, they're on my website. Oh, can you see the fishermen down there now? They were like looking through the bushes like, who the fuck's talking? Videos make me clearer than anything, but anything your awareness sharing. Thanks, Tabitha. You do a lot of hypnosis therapy. Yeah. I needed to hear that the water is a big deal. Yeah, well, our body is made up of like 70-90% water. If we get dehydrated just a tiny bit, everything else doesn't function properly. That's like they know, you know, they say we can go without food for 30 days. Water, we can't go without for very long. Yeah. So it's like water. And I always have a bottle of water with me. Sometimes I drink out of a big jar at home all the time because then I know that I'm drinking lots of water. Drink. And sleep, water affects everything, right? I sleep a lot and drink lots of water and eat well, but I go through the change with the anxiety is overwhelming. Yeah, so the next step, right, and this is why I'm always like, check in, what's going on? Please let me know if it's too windy. Okay. Yeah, and the thing is like, and that's what so Shelley, when you're saying about you do the hypnosis, but there's still other stuff. So I always say it's like the first step you check, right? Always the first step. Clear energy, water, and sleep. If they are good, then you can go to the next step, like the next layer underneath of why you're attracting it, why you're carrying it, why, you know, that sort of thing. So, okay, thanks, Leanne. It's always they're the number one steps, and then we kind of go into the next layer. Okay, what's going on? Why are you calling in this? Why are you carrying this? Yeah. So that's the thing there. Hey, Angela. If there's anyone else got any other questions, please share. Oh, I'm getting to the point too of my live stream. What happens when you energetically remove yourself from somebody? Okay. Let's see. You've been following? Yes. Yeah. Water affects everything. We get tired. We get cranky. Tired, especially. Sometimes we eat when we actually are thirsty as well. So. I dislike the negative and rudeness. So yeah, so I mean that would be a thing with like asking yourself why you're attracting it, like, you know, and that's the deeper level works. It's in a child, in a family, clearing out that stuff, shadow work, you know, there's so much, like, you just keep going through the layers there. That's what I work with. Need to travel? You just did this. Yeah, awesome. Okay, cool. I'm going to get to the point of this live stream because I forgot that I had actually had a point in my live stream. So the energetic fallout of removing yourself from somebody's energy. Now, I just want to really kind of go through this in a lot of detail in a sense. So you know how like you'd be in, I'm going to talk about, yay! Again, if you've got any questions at any stage, just pop them in the comments. So I'm going to talk specifically about a relationship, and then you go through a relationship breakup, okay? Now, yes, I'm kind of specifically talking about intimate relationship with a partner, but you can apply this to any relationship, because any relationship that you have with anybody, whether online, whether in person, whether a friend, colleague, partner, you know, all of that, the energetics are kind of no different, okay? Especially if you really admire them, you value friendship, you value all of that. That plane is super loud. I think that's the skydiver plane going up to height. So when you, okay, and again, I'm going to talk about relationship breakup. So when you energetically remove yourself, meaning you know, you have a physical breakup, so you go through a physical breakup and it's hard, right? There's all the physical aspects you have to sort out. There's, you know, if you're living together, you got to sort out the physical aspects. You got to sort out physical house. If you got kids, you got to like go through all the physical stuff of like how you're going to co-parent, living separately and being separate, and then it's kind of like then you go into you know, like if you're like married, is trying to think what it was, you got to go through all that, right? There's a big physical aspect of separation, okay? Now, in those sorts of times, it's like, it's hard to, I don't know if hard's the word, I need to kind of sit down a minute. Here we go. Oh, it's all wet. It's hard to, you know, especially like I have some people come to me and they're like, what spiritual stuff do I need to do? Yeah, family as well. They're like, well, I've got these spiritual wounds, or I need to heal this spiritual stuff. And I'm like, right, give me a rundown of what's going on in their life. And they're like going through this massive, like major, you know, separation, whether it's with family, whether it's with a loved one, whether it's with anything like that. And they, you know, they might have DV going on. And I'm like, honey, like, there is no amount of spiritual work right now that you need. You need to sort out your physical reality. Now, I just really want to point out this, you know, the triple goddess energy coming in. It's like, it's really bringing in our intuition and activating our, you know, higher senses, our spiritual awareness, whatever you want to call. But it's like, then how do we ground that spiritual energy into the reality? Okay. How do we be grounded in our body? How do we stay connected to our intuition and so spiritually attuned and connected? But how do we function in this in this physical reality, right? And this is what I'm passionate about doing, because there's no one way or the other. There's no black and white about this, right? Every single situation is individual and unique. However, there is a bit of a step-by-step process, if you may. There's a bit of a, what do you call it? I don't know, a layout. I don't know. But there's a guide, okay? Number one, again, physical reality. It's why I'm always like, when was the last time you cleared your energy, and when did you sleep water, okay? When did you sleep water? It sounds funny. So they're like your basic self-care things, okay? No matter what sort of breakup you're going through, they're your basic self-care things. Now, I say clear your energy because clearing your energy is like having a shower, okay? I always go on about that, and it's so, so important. So black and white terms, so meaning like there's no one path, like it's like not one path works for everybody, because everybody's in different stages of all different aspects, but there's a kind of a step-by-step guide, right? And it's like we need to sort out our physical reality. Like you can't, I guess what I mean by it's not black and white, it's like you can't just be spiritual without being responsible for your physical reality, because we're physical beings in a physical reality. We need to do the physical stuff too. It's kind of like, you know what did they say? It's like before enlightenment, chop wood. After enlightenment, chop wood. It's the same deal, right? We're here in a physical being environment in a 3D world, Yeah, we can grow our consciousness and do all this, but hey, we're still stuck in a 3D body and we need to function, right? And so I'm really passionate about getting you guys to ground that energy in your physical body so that you can function and not be called crazy and blah blah blah, right? So there's a basic, thing that happens in your, physical breakup, okay? Let's call it the physical breakup stage. So you're, removing yourself, you're removing your items from the home, you're separating your homes, you might need to separate bank accounts. Like there's so much separation on a physical reality, okay? All the whilst, you're still clearing your energy every single day because you're still having a shower every day. Especially more so in these sort of breakup situations, you need to be clearing your energy several times a day because, you both got feelings going on about the breakup, abandonment, betrayal, all the feelings, and you're both feeling each other, right? You're still intimately connected with each other energetically, whether you're physically separate or not. So once you kind of, separate, let's say you both move house, you both got your own kind of, separate living arrangements, you're starting to, have separate agreements and the flows happening with the kids and that sort of thing. So human beings when really being, human beings when we really are beings being human. Yeah, we're experiencing what it's like to be human, and to disconnect from your humanity is disconnecting from the purpose of what you're bloody on the earth for, right? At the end of the day, it's like your life purpose is to be here. Your life purpose is to be present in your physical body. Your life purpose is to experience every single color of the spectrum, every single emotion, every single thing on this planet, because that's what we came here for, right? Anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. Okay, so let's say you've separated yourself physically, okay? And then you kind of like starting to kind of do a little bit more kind of, deeper kind of spiritual work, right? You're like, okay, like why am I still feeling this energetic pull? Why have I still got like feelings for my ex? Why am I, starting another relationship but I've still got feelings with my ex? Why is my ex still coming around? Like, all this sort of thing, right? And it's kind of like, this is the part, once you've got your physical reality separate and you're starting to physically get on with your life, then it's time to work on the emotional and spiritual healing of, why everything happened, why you attracted it, healing from those wounds, healing from the trauma, healing from the pain, blah, 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 okay? There is no point in, it's a bit like when I say like, it's a catch-22, right? Everybody's different, but at its core, on a general kind of, helping society and, modern day people or whatever, human beings trying to be spiritual, it's like there is no amount of spiritual work we can do until our physical reality is sorted out. Doesn't mean we can't be doing both at the same time, but when you're completely, physical reality is ungrounded and you're not taking responsibility for your physical reality in all aspects of that I mean, like finances, your house, where you're living, paying bills, all that sort of stuff. Like that's something we can't avoid and something we need to take deep responsibility for. And by the way, this is very base chakra. This is very life purpose, okay? Life purpose is based in the base chakra. And if you're not taking responsibility for these physical aspects of our physical being, where your base chakra is unbalanced, you're not grounded all the way down into your base chakra, right? Let me just see these comments here. I think there's a quote that goes, you are a soul, you have a body. Yeah, and that's the thing, we can't escape this physical body, right? This is what we kind of came here for. Like the only way we can escape it is to leave the planet. So Hannah, lately I've been living more aware, and sometimes it makes me so sad of the reality that is here. Yeah, so when there's a deep sadness and a grief like for what you're seeing in your reality, like this is, a big part of sacral chakra as well. Like there's a lot of grief in the sacral chakra that's held in the sacral chakra and the heart, by the way. And when we like really do the deep inner work around, like clearing all the little threads from our past, around all the times our heart was hurt from different relationships, from comments people said that are still stuck in our field, from past life, like all of that. And this is why, as a spiritual, a conscious, aware person in this physical reality, it's why it's so important to be taking super conscious awareness and super responsibility for all of your thoughts, for all of your feelings. So when you do feel sad, it's again, you go through the checklist. When did I last clear my energy? Okay, and it's the same thing, right? This is really important. If you start feeling sad, I'm giving you the example, Dorothy. Dorothy, hi Dorothea, giving the example. Heidi, yeah, Erin, you as well. Okay, really, really important. Okay, take notes on this. Are you taking notes? I hope you got a pen and paper. So, when you're feeling really, really sad for other people's pain, for the shit they're going through, for stuff you're seeing in the world, for like, how can they do that? Okay, there's a deep remorse. Yeah, there's a deep remorse and powerlessness that you feel. How can they be doing that? How can other humans be hurting other humans? How can they be doing that, right? When you truly drop down through all of those feelings, when you drop down right underneath, right? So you go through, you might be kind of like shocked and you're like, how can they do that? And then you might be angry and you're like, fuck, they do that to other people. How can they do that to me? How they hurt me, right? This is kind of going on the post that I posted yesterday as well. Like, if we're not owning our hurt and fully traveling that pain in our heart, it stays stuck, and that doesn't help humanity. Okay, so when we travel that and we're like shocked, like, how the fuck, why are they doing? We get angry, and then we drop into the sadness, and it's such a deep sad because yeah, we might be feeling their pain, right? And then when we keep dropping underneath that, what drops underneath the sadness? What happens if we follow that all the way down? Would love to hear what you guys say about that. I'm just gonna wait and see what comes through. Yeah, awesome. So working on old relationships but trying to move forward. Also, I do self-respect myself, but then it makes me feel bad because of my anxiety. It makes me think a lot about what I said. I'm needing more information what you mean there, Shelley. Yep, so anxiety is carrying other people's feelings. And this is why I'm like, how often do you clear energy? How do you return to love? Thank you, Leanne. Woo! She just got it. Yes. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. Depression, staying stuck. Right, when we keep traveling deep underneath that, when it keeps dropping down, 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 where does it go? We drop through the anxiety, we drop through the depression, we drop through and we keep traveling all the way down of the love. Exactly, right? And what happens when we embody that love? What happens when instead of being, taken over by all the emotions, what is underneath all the emotions that we are made up of at our core? Hey, Scott. When we embody that love, and this is so interesting because I've been working through several clients with this, and this is exactly what the Triple Goddess meditation is about. It's integrating the aspects of all the emotions. Being open, starting to receive, coming in who you are, maiden, mother, holding it, realizing the love that we have for humanity and wanting to hold everybody and help everybody because that's what mothers do. They care for everybody. But the crone drops into the deep wisdom that we come full circle. And I really want to share this bit, right? Because in my session with Lois, my mentor, the other day, it was dropping into the power and control, right? And the power and control that we have, I felt a sense of, for me personally, and I'm just going to share a little bit about this because this is obviously what's coming up. When we share this, when I dropped through all these layers in myself, it was the same thing. And I felt powerlessness, but then the powerlessness dropped straight through. Exactly like I love that you guys are getting this, right? Right there with me. It's awesome. Of course, that's why you're here. And when, Lois said something to me and all I saw was the domestic violence circle, right? It's a cycle. It was like you're right in her head. You guys, you've been through DV, you'll know this domestic violence cycle. The power control cycle, right? Boom, bang, explodes again, comes back around. And I wish I could remember what she said. And I just dropped into deep sadness. But it was me realizing how much I didn't let in the support and how much I was like fighting everything. Like, yes, it takes two to tango, blah, blah, blah. But underneath of, again, realizing another layer of this is like 10 years ago. And I just dropped into deep remorse. And it was like this, it's the power and control, but it's a never-ending cycle. That's the crone, the web, the coming full circle. It's both. It's like, how I say, like, it's not linear anymore. It's the web. every single aspect of that is on there. The power, the control, the support, seeing it all, it's all there. And when we just hold that deep embodiment of love, this is where we feel it all, but we don't get consumed by it all. Because we know that everybody has this love within them, the embodiment of love that we're feeling, everybody on the planet has that. And everything else is just an experience. And we all have that space. And when we can hold that space within ourselves for our experience and our emotions without getting wiped by the emotions, but we can feel the emotions, but the emotions don't become us type thing. Sometimes we get flawed by them, like I still do, but I let myself go there. But because I know that I can feel and I drop down through the layers super quick, I always return to love. I always return to love every single time. So when I feel something, I let myself feel it all the way until I get back to that love. Needed to hear and see it. Yeah. Let me just check these comments. Love, yes, you got it, Kate. Yes. So, hey Jessica. Sorry guys, I didn't see these people joining. If you got any questions, let me know. That's what I feel like when that's when I feel like I'm so aware of the love. Yeah, and the love is a deep connection, right? And I just want to point out that when we feel that sense and we get it, like we're all feeling it now, this is the time to anchor it in. I love using the ankle point, and I squeeze my thumb and my forefinger right there when I have these moments. I'm like, oh, and I embody it for that body memory muscle. So when I'm feeling not that, I click this, click, and I'm like, oh, that's right. Takes me back to that place faster, right? All I can do is begin to love myself now. 100%. 100% is where it starts. It's where it starts. Otherwise, we're trying to get love from somebody else and fill somebody else up, or fill them up because we don't feel good enough unless we do that. But that's coming from an empty space, right? When we come into that full embodiment love, that deep embodied love, we know we don't need to fix anybody. We know we don't need to save anybody. And it's not just a knowing, it's an embodied feeling. And that feeling that we are emitting, right? We're always emitting some sort of vibration to the universe. When we really tap in and ground down that feeling, and we're emitting that, the people around us are feeling that. And that is the only help we need to give them, is to return to our love every single time. Because then we are emitting that to the entire planet. So those people you feel sad for, feel the sadness, but drop through it to return back to that love so you can emit that to them. And it's not like, oh, I need to send them healing energy, I need to send them love. No, no, different feeling. That's a different feeling. That's still coming from fear that I need to fix them and they're going through a really bad time and I need to send them love right now. Different feeling to grounded, present, embodied love. That you're just with everything. You drop into that sense of oneness, that space of just being with all that is. You're deeply connected to all that is. And your deep connection is the best support you can give anybody. Because it's that grounded presence. This is very, very base chakra. This is very base chakra, right? Because when you are deeply grounded through all of your core and you drop down through all those layers and you emit that to the universe, that deep aspect of that love vibration, this is what I always talk about in the Life Purpose Mentorship. Your purpose is to be present. Your vibration alone transforms people, whether you know them physically or online or anything. Your vibration alone transforms them. That's it. You don't need to do anything. And this is why I'm always harping on about your responsibility as a light worker is to take extra care of this on every single level. So I'm always like, when did you last clear energy? Forget clearing other people's energy. It's more important you clear your own, right? Always, always. Yeah, so if you dislike the news, Shelley, do you still watch it? And if you do, why? I really need to clear all this negative energy and love myself more. Yep. Heidi's got chills. Yes. When you realize this, it is truly an awakening to a higher level. Yeah. And I like to say it's more like a reconnection back to the truth. Yeah, and I guess it's like really came in strong, you know, on that first eclipse. Before the first eclipse, it's like it's not linear anymore. It's this. Yeah. So Kate says, me too. It may take me a couple of days, but I go back to love and also compassion. Yeah, and I just wanted to point that out. Thank you for sharing that. Yes, we get quicker and quicker. I still process for a few days, a few weeks, depending on what the issue is too, right? But I'm always conscious of where I'm at, and I'm always conscious. I'm like, it's not like I used to be. I used to be like this. Why am I feeling like this? And this is shit, and this is bad, and I hate this, and rah rah. I used to be like that, and now I'm like, ooh, I'm working through it. Ooh, I've just shifted to another layer. Ooh, what else can I do to take care of myself today? Ooh, I'm feeling this. How else can I take care of myself today, right? Always, yeah? But I used to beat myself up. We can't be unconditional love until we learn to love ourselves first. Yeah, yep, we need to be unconditional with ourselves, right? Write that one down. We need to be unconditional with ourselves. I want to get in that embodied love, not fix others. Yeah, yep, 100%. It's a big shift, right? And we're talking about shifting consciousness and, you know, moving into 5D. This is what it's all about, right? Just feel it. Yep. It's like I said to someone the other day, I'm like, we heal when we feel. We heal when we feel. Not disconnecting, not detaching. We heal when we feel. Not pretending it's not there. We heal when we feel. And when we know how to do this process, you know, and I share this with my clients, I teach it to you guys and my students, like, you guys know, right? We heal when we feel. We go through the layers. What can I do to take care of myself? How can I support myself today, right? It is so real. Yes. Everyone's crying. I'm so glad, because you're feeling that embodied, deep, present love that I'm showing you, giving you a prime example that here I am sitting on the rocks, feeling the sun in my back, deeply dropping into that space. But I don't need to fix any one of you guys. All I need to do is focus on me embodying the love deep into my core, and that shifts you in itself. Yeah? I try to help everyone else and I'm gonna neglect myself. I need to have that complete positive energy for myself. Yeah, and I kind of like moving away from positive and negative. I really do. Like, I used to be like positive, negative, but it's more like this. It's like the scale. It's like, this is good, this is bad, this is good, this is bad, this is high level, this is advanced, this is low level. And I'm like, fuck that shit. Like, just get all that out the window, right? Let's just be with the energies, and they all are on the spectrum, right? So I'm talking about the colors of the rainbow. It's not that the red is better than the purple and the green is bad. Like, no, it's just like they all just exist. And this is the thing that we can, you know, when we release the judgment, right? Because that's what I was sharing a while ago. It's like the judgment of good and bad keeps it there. Good and bad are just different energies, and they're on the spectrum of the scale, and they will always be there. This is a really important point. They will always be there. Good, bad, they're always there. One's over here, one's down here, and in between there's all these different aspects of all of these to get to either end of the good and the bad, so to speak, right? They will never disappear. They will never disappear, ever. But what disappears is our judgment of that. And all of this here, it's like, oh, this just is. And we turn back to love, that it all just is, without the that's good, that's bad, I'm feeling shit. You know, like, I mean, we can still kind of do that, and, you know, of course labels help us to understand, but then the next layer is removing the label so that we can be with all that is without beating ourselves up more for it, right? Hey Pauline, I'm really good, thank you. Really good. So Kate says, I'm still learning how to love myself and not feel guilty and shame myself. One day at a time for me. Yeah, and that's all it takes. One day at a time, one breath at a time. I like to have little kind of post-it notes up around the house when I'm learning something new. How can I be unconditional for myself? How can I return back to love? How can I take care of myself? And you could even have, so these are just ones coming to mind to remind you, right? You're writing these down. You could have another one that says, how, it's almost like a check-in, right? You know how I said, like, first thing, clear energy. Next thing, how much water have you drunk? How much sleep have you had, right? Next thing is, how much time have I given to other people today, yesterday, last week? And in that, when you're doing a little check, how much time have I given to myself? Really, really awesome to have a check-in like that. So then you can go, oh, I've not given myself any time this past week. Okay, what can I do for the next week, every single day, to make sure I have me time and give to myself every day this next week? Write it in your diary. Write it in your calendar. If someone wants to catch up, say, oh, I can't. Oh, I'd have to do it after 10 o'clock in the morning, actually, because you know that, I'm sorry, I just got distracted. You know that that's coming up, right? And this is another thing that I wanted to share as well. So when we're really stressed out, and I know a lot of you guys are feeling a lot of stress and stuff at the moment, right? Because of the energies, yeah? And it's kind of, it always comes back to, what did I do yesterday? What have I done the past 3 days? What have I done the past week? Check in. I hope you guys are writing this down, because this is what I teach my clients, right? I hope you guys are writing this down. It's so important. It's the number one step before you go, I've got a spiritual wound and I need to deal with it. It's like, no, let's just check the basic stuff first, right? Because sometimes that's all it takes. You're like, yeah, I haven't had any time to myself, right? And everything shifts. Your whole reality is normal again. You're like, oh, this is right. Got it. Onto it, right? And I just want to point out that when we're in this space, right, we're checking in, we've done our weekly check, and then we kind of check ahead. We're like, whoa, I'm really busy with work this week. Whoa, I've got a big launch coming, or I'm, sorting something out, or whatever it is. And you're like, wow, I'm not going to get a break for whenever. It's really important that you can actually plan something in, because even though it might be in a week, 2 weeks, something, I always say, like, look over your next month. What have you got going on, right? When you can plan me timing, when you can plan a massage, when you can plan whatever it is, seeing your counselor, having time at the beach, and sitting in the sun, whatever your self-care is, when you can write it in your diary and plan it in, and make sure that, that's a self-care boundary. And if you plan things in and then some things come over the top of those self-care boundaries, that's when you'd be looking at self-worth. That's when you'd be looking at, what's going on, that you're not feeling worthy to be able to give to yourself, all those sorts of things, right? There's so many layers here. But when you can plan in time for yourself, whatever that looks like, right? It's like a support mechanism. It's like we go crazy and we fall down and we're like, oh my God, I'm so stressed out, because we're going to got no support coming up, right? This is a very masculine thing to have the support. Masculine holds the space. Masculine is support. Masculine, holds the chaotic feminine, okay? The chaotic creative feminine, I should put in there. So when we have that structured into our time in the next week, in the next month, we can handle situations that life throws at us, right? It's an emotional brain thing. I don't know how the technical stuff works, right? But because it's planned in and booked in, and say something happens during your day and you fall down and all this shit goes crazy, and you're like, oh my God, what the fuck's going on? Subconsciously, or whatever that thing is, you know that on Wednesday you're getting a massage. You know that on Thursday you're seeing your counselor. You know that on Friday you're having the morning off and you're going to the beach. Without those aspects planned in, you do lose the plot. You do fall down, right? And when we're super busy in our day, in our life, kids, all that sort of thing, and we don't have that support booked in, this is really important for, I was going to say single mums, but even single dads, right? If we don't have that support booked in, and even if you don't have kids, right? It's so important to have that structured into your time, right? So let me know if that helps anybody. I don't know why I just end up sharing that. That's what I do with my clients. Guys getting free client sessions. Okay, Tammy says, I hope you're wonderful. I said that. Hey, Lotus. Sorry. I only just seeing these comments now. Love that. Yay. I continue to pay attention to everyone. I think you said, but myself. What are the people around me doing to me? Ooh, I would be like, what am I letting them do to me? Nobody can do anything to you unless you let them. unless you let them. And if you're saying, no, but their energy is too strong, and I'm like, how are you working on building your own energy? What are you still doing in a physical space with them if they do affect you that detrimentally? Is that even a word? Detrimentally? Oh dear. Hey Christopher. Oh, thank you. So kind. Yes, yeah, and I'm glad that that's helped you, Kate. Because yeah, good question. Glad that you got that, Tammy. Yeah, even something simple, right? So what I just shared is sometimes even overwhelming for mums that I help too. Something even simpler than that is just before you go to bed, make it a non-negotiable that you know, if you've got a diary or a calendar, or at least you can write it on paper and have it on your kitchen bench, so when you walk out in the morning, it's the first thing that you see, that you just know what meals you're going to prepare for breakfast, lunch and dinner. Sometimes that's all you can manage, and sometimes that is like the most supportive thing in the world, because you can just get up tomorrow, you know, if you have to go to the shop before lunchtime and get this stuff for dinner and that, and sometimes that's all you can manage. You can have a shower in the morning, you can get up at 6 o'clock or earlier than the kids if possible, have a shower, get your clothes and your makeup and your hair done so you can manage and get through the day, and just know that this is the food you got to do and that's it. And sometimes that is just like all you can manage, and it's so important because it's so powerful, right? It's so powerful. Okay, how do you not care about what others say or think? I always get affected by thinking what others think or say of me. Yeah, so that comes in. I was just thinking, I haven't actually really answered the question of removing yourself energetically. I'm going to call this live stream something else, and I'm actually going to do a proper audio recording because I haven't actually specifically answered the question. The topic of this live stream, I've talked about other things, obviously what I needed to talk about, but there's other important things about the fallout, the energetic fallout of removing yourself from somebody else's energy, and I feel like I need to do a separate recording, so I'll release that later today. That's really important. So yeah, Carrie says, like, I'm always affected by thinking what others think or say of me. That is like a low self-worth, obviously. You know, like not feeling good enough. So always needing to, you know, make sure that, you know, what you're doing is right. There's like a wrongness thread there as well, which stems deep anxiety as well. So when you get anxious, it's like you feel like you're going to get in trouble, or you're going to do something wrong, or, you know, big people pleaser stuff. So if you spend a lot of time always thinking or worrying what others are thinking of you, I would be, again, it's the same thing. Clear your energy, okay? How much sleep have you had? How much water have you drunk? Always the first 3 things to check in with. Because when you said I'm always affected by what others think or say of me, what was the other thing I was going to say then? Oh, and that's why I just like, you know, clear your energy, because sometimes, like, and that's like with anxiety as well, we can be like taking in so much energy into our heart, like feeling other people's energy in our heart. It's kind of where we feel it and we take it on the most. So I'm always affected by this. So clearing your energy, and this is why I'm always going on about it as the number one thing, because picking up somebody's energy in your energetic field, or a thought that they're thinking of, is the same as walking on the mud and getting mud on your feet. Like, there's kind of no way around walking on the mud and not getting mud on your feet unless you've got shoes on, right? And then you're still going to get them on your boots. So it's kind of like, if you can always keep that in mind, it's the same thing. And I always go on about it, you know, it's like, you know, imagine if you didn't have a shower for a week, how stinky you'd be. Like, when is the last time you cleared your energy? Like, you're probably carrying so many other people's thoughts and energies in your mind, body, aura, that you take them on. And this is why I'm always going on again about clearing energy. And then it's like, okay, and there's all these other energetic, you know, meditations, there's all these other tools that I provide and, you know, share with you guys, my clients, my students, and why I teach what I teach. Because the stronger and the more we do our energetic clearings, especially as number one step, we learn to get stronger in our spiritual muscles. And when we get stronger in our spiritual muscles, we get stronger in our spiritual energy. And when we get stronger in our spiritual energy, we're aware when somebody else's energy is coming in, and instead of the other person's energy coming in and hitting us, and then we're thinking all their thoughts without even realizing it, our energy is so strong, it's kind of like out here. So when somebody else's energy comes in, we feel it when it hits us out here. rather than it coming all the way in and we're getting a headache and then we're like, oh, what's going on with me, right? Almost not my earbud out. Let me know if that helps, right? So I feel like I'm always repeating myself, when did you clear energy? When did you clear? Right? But people are like, oh, that's right. And it just takes a practice. It's a practice. It is a practice to remember. And that's why I'm like, put reminders on your phone to come up, like Archangel Michael of 100% light. Can you please clear my energy? Like you can put post-it notes around your house, like whatever reminders work for you, use them, right? Yeah, people pleaser. Yeah. Always wanting approval. But working with inner child, hoping to heal, and just have to prove myself first. Yeah, inner child is powerful for that. Yeah, huge. Do it, inner child work every day, you'll start to feel different. Yeah, awesome. So yeah, I'm gonna change the title of this live stream. I'm not sure to what, but I don't know. I am gonna do an audio recording specifically on the energetic fallout of removing yourself from somebody's energy, because there's actually a lot of, I don't know, detail I want to talk about there or something. I don't know where the path is. I'm down here. What does clear energy mean? Yeah, so on my website, realityawareness.com, I can put the link in the comments when I jump off, is my free meditation pack. So it's an essentials meditation. There's like 6 different meditations in there. One of them is the internal compass meditation, and in that there's 2 in there actually, recalibrating internal compass, or maybe there's 3, there's a few. But the internal compass chakra clearing one, it's about 7 to 8 minutes long. And it's literally like calling in your internal compass, which you'll understand when you listen to it, and then it goes through and it clears each of your chakras. It's a really, I guess a basic meditation, but it's the most kind of essential thing to clear your energy all the time. So if you can imagine yourself, Kate, like we're bubbles of energy, we're bubbles of vibrating atoms, and we have like the aura, right? We have a bubble of energy around us that people call our aura, and it's made up of all these different layers and blah blah blah. So when you have your bubble of energy, if you can imagine like going to a supermarket or going anywhere in public and you walk past people, you're walking past and you're brushing past their bubble of energy too, because everybody's got these bubbles of energy, right? Everybody has them. Just like we've all got arms and legs, we all, sometimes we physically bump someone, right? And energy is like shakes off on everybody, right? It's like a dog shaking the water off. Everybody's got this energy on them. You can walk into a room and sometimes you can feel people's vibes, right? Or you walk into a place and you're like, well, the vibe of this place, yeah? Whoops, these rocks, the vibe of this place. Yeah, when I jump off, I'll put the link in the comments to my Essentials free meditation pack. So yeah, and when you listen to it, it'll help you understand the thing, right? Clearing your energy. Just let me know if that helps, but I will put the link in the comments too. So Leanne says, I feel that anger was clearing hardcore yesterday, but I couldn't seem to stop as sister was hella angry with me and going off. Yeah, yesterday was really intense. Like I had an experience as well that I shared a tiny little bit on the live stream yesterday, but it was pretty intense, and it's just made me do the triple God. I'm like, right, got the nudge. I've been getting probably about 10 days to do the triple goddess meditation. I'm like, what is that? And then it came through yesterday after stuff happened. I am still live, Carrie. Yeah, awesome. Lovely to have you here. We so appreciate it. Yes, you're so welcome. Yeah, and sometimes it is hard in those moments, Leanne, when we're feeling that stuff. And this is, kind of, I guess, stepping to the next layer of being aware of energy. And, there's only so much clearing energy we can do until we actually need to then do the deeper work of why we're attracting it and blah, blah, blah. But clearing energy is the number one step. It's, it's like having a shower, basically, as I keep saying. So when we start to understand our energy and embody the love, like I was sharing just before, a very powerful live stream of embodying love. When we do that, my hair today, when we embody love, and we're really apt at doing that, practice. Can't stress that enough. Practice, right? How's my thing? I'm just trying to get it to turn around. I think my battery's starting to go flat. When we embody that love, that's when we step into a space of holding space for someone else when they're in their big shit. That's the practice. But we can't do that for somebody else, and that's when we get affected by other people's energy and stuff, when they're in a big stuff, big energetic, emotional shit. And this is why I'm always going on about it, practicing embodying that love and engaging those muscles and doing your inner work to be able to hold that space more and more and more and more. Because when somebody is in their stuff, you can hold this space, you can still have your own feelings, emotions be triggered. And this is where I say, you know, this is how we hold space for us and other people while they're in their stuff without being affected. And it's not that we're not affected, but we're able to hold space for ourselves and hold space for them at the same time. Yeah, it does take practice. There is a lot of kind of inner work to get us to that space as well. I'm not saying you can't just do it, but usually, just like learning to read or write, there's a bit of a process there. So yeah, you're welcome, Kate. So Carrie says last few days anger was off the chain, and then yesterday and today felt so clear. It was crazy. Yeah, it's so interesting, right? Because this triple goddess meditation, I know I'm harping on about it, but I've been helping my clients about it for about 10 days actually, probably maybe a little bit more. And I knew that I had to download it. I knew that I had to do it, right? And I just trusted when, but I wasn't putting it off. But then yesterday I experienced something, and I'll tell you guys about it, because Carrie, you said that anger was off the chain yesterday. I had a client at the same time that I had stuff going on as well, right? And I walked into this place, and we walked in, got our appointment, sat down. Like a day I didn't want to, she had her acai bowl, right? A day was like, I want to take it in there. I'm like, no, take it in because it'll melt in the car and, you know, it'll be fine. She's like, no, I'll spill it. And I'm like, it was just weird for her. She never really says that sort of stuff, right? And I'm like, it'll be fine. Got in line. And then as we sat down, like I turned around and my handbag like knocked it out of her hand, and like acai bowl went everywhere. And this woman, did I share this on live stream yesterday? I know I did a little bit, but anyway, this elderly woman just out of nowhere just started having a go at me, like about my parenting, about, yeah, you're welcome, Kate. You're so welcome. About how I parent and I should discipline. And I'm like, what? I'm like, I'm cleaning up my daughter's mess that I knocked out of her hand. Like I stood my ground. And it was just so out of the blue. And then all the staff came around and they're like telling her to stop basically. And like, they didn't care that it was spilt. They're like, and I'm trying to pick up the food. And they're like, don't worry, the cleaners will steam clean it and everything. And I'm like, okay. And it was just so interesting. And I really want to point out that whilst that was going on, like I knew exactly what it was, because it was an elderly lady. Like, do you know what I mean? And like, I didn't provoke her. Like, it was so out of the blue. And I just really want to point out here, this is the really important point about this, that I was very aware of the feminine goddess healing witch hunt accusation shit, right? It's the accusation shit. And the thing, and I was very conscious that that was what was going on, and I still held space, still was present, blah, blah, blah. And then, you know, we sat away from the lady. And when we got up to the counter and stuff, all the staff had kind of come around and, you know, and it took us ages to go through the appointment and everything. But all the staff were like coming up at different times, like, are you okay? So sorry that happened. And I'm like, oh, it's all right. Like, you know, but I had to stand my ground and blah, blah. And it was like so many, and then, you know, waiting for our appointment and stuff. And I could feel the energy in the entire place. And it was of utmost support. That internal sense of the connection that I felt with everyone in that building, because, you know, they'd left by then, that other woman, was just support, complete support. And it was like this, like, moment type thing. I thought it was about to die. I could feel it dying. So I'm like, started walking and get off live stream. The battery just went flat. So it was of utmost support, and it it was like an internal thread that was just going through the entire, like connecting to me, connecting within. It was just complete utmost support. And I was like, I could feel it, and I was just like, and I was like, it's time, you know, because, oh, that's right, before, yeah, Angel's singing, before I actually got up to the counter at our appointment, I was just like, whoa, and I'm trying to process that sitting in the chair, and I'm like, you okay, Jay? Like, and I'm like, right, I'm going to listen to one of my clients, you know, like voice message. And she's just telling me about all this stuff, like similar type of experience, but it was the same goddess type energy type thing, like, you know, that same accusation stuff. And I'm like, and I'm just listening to this thing going, like typing back to her, I'm going, you have no idea what I just went through. I'm like, she's like, is it in the collective? I'm like, yes, it's in the fucking collective. And it was so interesting because I couldn't get back to finishing sending the message to her before I got called up to the counter. And then I experienced that sense of support. And I was like, wow. And because I knew when I was listening to her, and I was like, this is the, I was like, this is a sign. This is the time to do this meditation. I'm like, it's done. This is the time, right? And so I, you know, I did the appointment, and I was like, right, got to do this meditation. That's why I was half writing it last night, and it finished this morning. And it was so interesting because, like, I was like, yeah, I'll stay up all night and I'll finish it. And then I hit a wall of tiredness last night, and I knew I was about to bleed, and it was my moon flow, and I'm like, I've got to honor I've got to go to sleep. And it just hit me. And then this morning I got up and I wrote the triple goddess meditation, and then my blood flow started. I'm like, of course it did, right? It was just like, woo. So if you guys are interested in intuition or the life purpose mentorship, it is sitting in the Facebook group there now for you. You guys you've got that, you've got access to that. My clients, if you want that, please let me know. They do come fast to me, but you know, it is something I've been feeling for a little bit, been sitting there, Carrie, but it is in the Trust Intuition group. You guys have got access to it. I'm like, you guys need this like now, because I could feel it all, right? And so it has kind of shifted. It's shifted now. So anyway, I don't know why I ended up just sharing that. I guess because of the, you know, the accusation, like, you know, because I was thinking about it when I left that building. I was like, I never felt that depth of support before, like in so many ways, right? And what that was for me was like, you know, I've always said it, like the days of the witch hunts are over. Like she was the one getting told off for accusing me for something I didn't fucking do, right? Do you know what I mean? Like, do you know what I mean? It was just like, oh, the consciousness is shifting. The world is shifting. This is like, do you know what I mean? Can you guys feel, you can, yeah, just thought, yeah, awesome. Can you guys feel the significance in what I'm saying here, right? It's so significant that the consciousness is shifting, the world is shifting, and it takes us to recognize it and to keep going with what we're being called to do, right? So important. Obviously had to share that with you guys. If you think this live stream can help somebody, please share it. Please type their name in the comments. Please send it in a private message to them. I am going to do a separate audio recording, so keep an eye out for that on the name of this live stream, because I really didn't cover what I wanted to share about in this live stream. So I'll do it as an audio recording about the energetic fallout of removing yourself from somebody's energy, because there's a lot of specifics I wanted to go into, which didn't happen on this live stream. We talked about embodying love. So yeah, so I'll do that. Keep an eye out on my Facebook page for that. I'll release that this afternoon. And it's interesting. Wow, the shift, the entire collective, you're seeing that. Yeah, and it's up to us to really notice it. It's almost the same thing as, you know, when I was saying like it's good and it's bad. It's like, no, it just is, right? It's up to us to shift that perspective of it as well, right? So I do have my 21-day shifter program if you want deep help and inner support around really diving into your unique situation and experience. I'll post a link in the comments. That's 21 days where you deep dive with me over WhatsApp, which is unlimited text, unlimited voice message, unlimited psychic readings, and we dive deep and we dive fast. You usually get shifts pretty damn quickly. Most of my clients are like, they're like all this stuff within a couple of days, so it's awesome. So I'll post a link for that in the comments when I jump off as well. Thank you for joining me live, and everything's going flat. There's another low power thing. I shall see you tomorrow or the next day. Keep it real as always. Namaste.